when you look at a lot of the ways that this game unfolded, I feel a huge sense of responsibility to this team. We weren't ready to go. I take a lot of pride in that, and that's on me. I got to do better. There was a lot of decisions that I made that I felt like didn't put our players in good enough spots. This was a humbling experience, but we're going to stay connected. We're going to all look inward. We're going to do a better job moving forward, but you give credit to the Bills, and then we've got to understand that we've got to have that mindset and mentality to be able to move forward accordingly. But I do take a lot of responsibility in this. It was a very humbling night, but one that, hey, you got to be able to look yourself in the mirror, say, I got to be better within the framework of my role. That's exactly what I'm going to do. That's what I know our coaches are going to do. That's what our players are going to do. And we're going to stay together, and we're looking forward to our next opportunity to be resilient and respond. This hasn't been the first setback that we've experienced, and we're going to respond the right way. I do trust that, and all I know how to do is look at this film, correct it, put together a good week of preparation, and be ready to go against the Falcons next week. But there's no way to put it other than, didn't do a good enough job. It starts with me, and then we can overall execute better in a lot of areas.
Spoken like a man who just had his new contract extension announced yesterday. You're not going to be in any real scrutiny if you take all the blame for the loss that happens that night, but he's right. Week 1, all sorts of crazy stuff happens. It doesn't define the season. The Bills lost at home week 1 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Tennessee Titans lost 38-13 to the Cardinals at home week 1 last year, and they ended up the number 1 seed in a conference that is much tougher than the NFC. So you learn from it, you build on it, you grow. The question is, are there fundamental flaws with this team? We won't know until we see the Rams play more teams. They have the Falcons coming to town in 9 days. If the Falcons do to the Rams what the Bills did, then maybe it's time to start breaking glass in event of emergency. But it's a long season. You can't freak out over one game, and you just keep going. It's all the right cliches that we hear all the time from coaches, but it's the right attitude. You can't freak out after one game.
Hey, Mike, in 2003, the New England Patriots lost to the Buffalo Bills 31-0 on opening day in Orchard Park. And in week 17, the final game of the season that year, the Patriots beat Buffalo 31-0 in Foxborough and went on to win the Super Bowl. So there are loads of examples about how good teams can come back after a nightmare in week 1. And it's pretty big nightmare when you force 4 turnovers and lose by 21 at home after you raise the championship banner in your stadium. And by the way, after occasionally the Rams have to do a silent snap count because there's so many fans of the other team in the stadium. So there's an awful lot that went on in that game that to me would be discouraging if I were the Rams. But that's the great thing about it. You've got the long weekend now. I'm sure the players will have most, if not all, of this weekend off. And you get to erase, a terrible taste and a terrible game. And you get to have a favorable opponent come in week 2 to try to make things right. So I don't think in any way that the Rams ought to think, oh, it's over. It's not over. It's just a really bad first game.
And it is rare that the defending champion has to suffer an indignity like that at home to start the season. Since the NFL began with the Thursday night opener 20 years ago, when the defending champ is playing at home to start the year, that champion had been 14-2 before last night, now 14-3, obviously. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.